Okay, reloading the machine here. Romans 13. Do you think about how to gratify the desires of the flesh? Let it go. Augustine's autobiographical Confessions describes his long and winding journey to Jesus. On one occasion, he was riding to the palace to give a flattering speech for the emperor. He was fretting over his deceptive applause lines when he noticed a drunken beggar joking and laughing. He realized the drunk already had whatever fleeting happiness his shifty career might bring, and with much less effort. So Augustine stopped striving for worldly success. But he was still enslaved by lust. He knew he couldn't turn to Jesus without turning from sin, and he still struggled with sexual immorality. So he prayed, "Grant me chastity, but not yet." Augustine stumbled along, torn between salvation and sin, until finally he had enough. Inspired by others who had turned to Jesus, he opened a Bible to Romans 13:13. Let us behave decently, not in carousing and drunkenness, not in sexual immorality. Rather, clothe yourselves with the Lord Jesus Christ, and do not think about how to gratify the desires of the flesh. That did it. God used those inspired words to break Augustine's chains of lust and brought him into the kingdom of the Son, in whom we have redemption, the forgiveness of sins. Colossians 1. Augustine became a bishop who remained tempted by fame and lust, but he now knew whom to see when he sinned. He turned to Jesus. Have you? What's keeping you from giving your life to Jesus? How might your life change if you let it go? Dear Father, let nothing come between me and you. There we go. Another one. I'll add a little something here. Where is it? They do not think about how to gratify the desires of the flesh. All the studies they've done as of late about the dopamine, especially using the online, the likes and getting famous on the YouTube and Facebook and all that stuff. That's powerful. That becomes an addiction. Just throwing that in. Let me see, where is it? Let me read this one part again. This is the important part. But he was still enslaved by lust. He knew he couldn't turn to Jesus without turning from sin. Great point. And he still struggled with sexual immorality. So he prayed, "Grant me chastity, but not yet." Augustine stumbled along, torn between salvation and sin, until finally he'd had enough. He made a decision. Inspired by others who had turned to Jesus, he opened a Bible to Romans 13. Let us behave decently, not in carousing and drunkenness, not in sexual immorality. Rather, clothe yourselves with the Lord Jesus, and do not think about how to gratify the desires of the flesh. Whether it's anger, lust, resentment, unforgiveness, deceitful, whatever. Okay, you could take that same thing and implant it right there. He was torn between salvation and sin until finally he had enough, made a decision, and then, let's see here. You could pray the same thing. Let us behave decently, and insert whatever emotion or sin, whatever you want to call it. It's the same thing. You just got you pray it. Let me see here if I made sense on that. Yeah. I'll leave that right there. Love you. God bless.